Good morning, everybody. We're now in our meeting at 11:07 a.m. And please keep in mind that once we are down the agenda, we're at this meeting, please voice your opinion. And such, we have a lot going on this agenda. So on the agenda, we can go down to the icebreaker. What is your favorite activity while riding in a plane? Well, mine would be, I'm George Adams, Medford, Jackson County out here. I'm the co-chair with Maria. And mine would be watching movies as I'm in the plane to keep myself occupied until my destination. So I will pass it on to Sydney.
Reading, for sure, without a doubt. I think I finished like an entire book the last time I flew, so this is an easy one for me. And I guess I'll just pop it over to Maria.
Where'd you come from, Sydney?
I was coming back from visiting my sister in Sweden, so I had a lot of time to read, and which is why I actually finished a book. But when you can't sleep, you got to do something, so
No, I
no
mean
complaints.
your organization.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Neighbor Impact, over here in Central Oregon, with April, but now we'll pass it over to Maria.
Good morning. Thank you, Sydney. Maria Park, Senior Program Manager from Asian Health and Service Center, co-chair here with George. And I'm going to have to say, even if it's just for like an hour or 14 hours, I usually just sleep and hopefully I don't snore too much. But I'm going to pass it, let's see here, to Andrew.
My answer is going to be the same as Sydney. Reading. I feel like I am very bad about setting aside time to read in my normal life, and I just get so easily distracted. But somehow, when I'm on a plane, just able to focus on reading. So that's where I get most, if any, reading done. And yeah, I'm sorry, I should introduce myself too for anyone wondering. Andrew Demaray, Senior Business Analyst for the ONE online portal. Let's go, Gabrielle.
Oh, hi, I'm Gabrielle Gadon. Sorry, my new employee is messaging me asking new questions about their job and other stuff, so apologize. I am from Newburgh, Oregon, so Yamhill County, and I'm with the Oregon Self-Advocacy Coalition, and I'm also someone that receives DD services and receives Medicaid, Medicare.
Who would you like to go to, Gabrielle?
Oh, it was an unmuting too. Azucena. Did I say that correctly, or am I just losing my mind?
Azucena.
Azucena.
Yes, thank you. Azucena Moreno, pronouns she, her, ella. I am the OEP Equity and Engagement Strategy Manager. So I hang out with James a lot. I guess it's a long way to say that. I don't know if there's not too many activities you can do on a plane. I read the Kindle. It's what I do. I read the Kindle and I eat gummy bears. So that is what I do. And I sleep and I look at clouds, and if there's thunderstorms, those are the best. So that is what I do. And I will pass it to, I don't think too many people have gone, hopefully. So I'm going to guess that Brandy hasn't gone.
I have not gone. So on a plane, I used to take them all the time, but now that I work from home, I don't take them as often. But I am with you. I am big gummy bear fan. huge pro gummy bear. And I like to read, but I also like to nap. I usually just kind of curl up and just try to sleep the entire time. Maybe take a few pictures and then go to bed. And I will pass it. I don't know who hasn't gone because it's a little bit tardy.
Brandy, what's your role?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm Brandy Arthur, OS2 OEP. I'm here for support.
There's Brandy Strum. Go ahead, Brandy Strum.
Okay, hi everyone. Brandy Strom with Maslow Project here in Grants Pass area. And what's your favorite activity while riding a plane? Sleeping if I can, I think. Or having a conversation or reading something entertaining. And I also showed up a little late, but I'm just gonna pick someone and hope for the best. What about Judith?
Oh, yes. What's your favorite activity while riding the plane? I would just say reading. Yeah, I like to read anything that's on the plane, all the magazines, all the directions. And then when I run out, I start reading my own stuff. And I don't know, I came on late too. So,
Vanessa, Anja, and
Okay.
Vanessa Broadley. I put it in the chat, but I know people came in late. South Coast Regional Early Learning Hub. I support a lot of families that through Baby Promise, so they all require ERDC. So that's a lot of the ONE work. I used to love to fly, and now I'm a chicken after having kids. So I need to sleep because if I don't sleep, I'll worry. So I download Hours of Sleepy podcast, and I have my eye mask and all my cozy stuff, and I sleep because if I don't, I worry that the plane is gonna go down. So yeah, whoever's next.
hey,
I will go. I can go next. Hi, this is Inje, Asian Health and Service Center Community Program Coordinator. I work a lot with Maria Park. So I clean up my photo files on my phone.
oh, good idea.
So yeah, I just flew back from Washington, D.C. last night. So my phone feels a little lighter today. Okay. Did April go?
Not yet. April Paul, Neighbor Impact Chapter Resources and Special Projects Manager here. I manage the Baby Promise program. Much like Sydney and everyone else, I just read or eventually fall asleep. I always think I'm going to watch something and download stuff, and then I just would rather read my book because no one's going to talk to me. Doesn't happen at my house. So is that everyone? Is everyone gone?
Laura, there's James, and the guy with the ORS.
All right, go ahead, James.
Oh, yes. James Barta, he, him. I'm the Engagement Strategies Coordinator with the ODHS Oregon Eligibility Partnership. And I like to do all those things. I heard, like to look out the window, read, but I suppose a guilty pleasure is I will occasionally play a computer game, Civilization. So, yeah, Lori, go ahead and go.
Good morning. My name is Lori Bradley, and I am one of the managers for the ONE online applicant portal. And what I do is I'll either read or I'll watch a movie on my phone.
And the guy in the OR. 078.
Are you talking to me, George?
Yep.
Okay. Paul Alderson, Public Services Representative for. I support the applicant technical team. Favorite activity. I like to put headphones on and listen to music. It lets me zone out and keep me not paying attention to anything going on around me.
Okay. And the one, go ahead.
Anybody else?
Sam, as I understand it, will be coming in late. So James, I'm handing it over to you.
Sure. some reason I am unable to do pretty much anything on my computer right now. So, Randy, if someone can share the PowerPoint, that would be great. But
Yeah, I can put the link in the chat. Does that work?
well, no, if you can actually, if you have the share button at the bottom, click that and then click the window with wherever you have the PowerPoint open. Or not, if if it's a little bit of a trick. We can, I mean, the next thing on the agenda is for Andrew to talk about our past builds here. So we could go into that. Well,
I, like you, this is why I'm tardy. I am struggling. I'm not the greatest computer person today. I can't get anything to load.
yeah, normally in this situation, I would restart my computer, but I think it would kick everyone out of the meeting if I did that right now. So,
Are you having trouble with the share part of it?
well, I can actually share. I just can't move the slides at all. So, but Andrew, if you can talk about our
yeah, I can, and I can actually, if I just got to get the PowerPoint open, I can share from my end.
yeah, that'd be great.
So hold for just a second.
Thank you, Andrew.
It's a Monday, James.
Apparently for my computer it is. Usually it's not as much of a problem. Try shutting down various things and see how that works. Ah, okay, that helped.
There you go.
All right, can everyone see my screen?
Mhm.
All right, did the icebreaker. All right, so recap for upcoming builds. Request 79, updating the wording of the alternate format options for notice correspondence in information menus, scheduled for the November 12th build. Interesting thing to note about this, we actually, in developing this, noticed a few other screens in the online portal that have this information as well. So Deloitte did a good job of calling that out for us. So we'll make sure this is, we initially reviewed it just on like the contact information screen, but there's a few other areas that you can access that same or similar screen in AP or in the online portal, and we'll make sure to get those updated too with the same changes we're recommending. Request 90, preferred CCO and CCO selection. We made the decision as a committee to align the language across the portal for preferred CCO. Is coming in the November build. Change request 800363. This is the self-scheduling. We are currently in a design review process. So we've gone through our initial meetings with all of the interested parties, with our developer Deloitte. We've come up with some really cool ideas of how we're going to implement this, and we're currently confirming all of that, making sure it looks right, all the verbiage is good. Special shout out to Maria and NJ, who have helped along in that process. They attended a lot of meetings with us and some even further side meetings with a smaller group to make sure that we have good perspective from our partners in this change as well. So we're really excited to share the more specific details about this as we get closer to March 2026. Request 77, clarifying how to report a change about a household member leaving. So this one we separated into two parts. The first one is some changes to the screen layout to where the page breaks are, updates to the buttons to remove and add household members. That's going in the November 12th build. Part 2 of that, which we finalized in the last meeting, changing the text of the options at the bottom of the screen when we are leaving a person on the case and indicating that they're only in the household part-time, or they're away from the household but plan to return, clarifying with help text what each of those different options mean. So that one is scheduled for the January 14th build. And request in process, request 80, we started to talk about this last time. Veronica brought it up, but we did not finish it. So we will continue work on that today, clarifying the verbiage around if a document has been identified to have a virus.
Oh.
Oops.
But that should take us a little bit of time. I've apparently, shut down a bunch of things down and reloaded them, and they work for me. So I can go ahead and share the briefing sheet on this request 80.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew. And so we've now this is the one that Veronica has been working on, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So Andrew, question: are you comfortable talking about this, or should we go to something else?
I mean, I think I can pick up where we left off. I think so to give a summary of it, basically what we're looking at is removing the language in the actual on-screen text stating that each document submitted will be subjected to a virus scan. So we talked, you can see the crossed out line here. The possible suggestion, we would keep all of the text here except that last sentence that's been crossed out. We also talked about potentially updating language regarding uploading pay stubs and income records as a single document, but the decision we had made was this is not a great idea because there's concern that most users initially would not know how to combine different documents together. They may not have the correct applications or tools on their computer to do so. Most likely they're taking pictures of their pay stubs or sending whatever it is they've received from their employer, if it's in a correct file type, directly to us. So there's a concern that making it too complicated or asking them to do something they can't do would discourage people from uploading a document altogether if they feel like it needs to be all updated as a single document. Also concerned that we could, if encouraging people to do this, we could see documents that were combined together that should actually be uploaded separately, like some sort of employment verification versus some sort of other, expense verification or something like that. We would want those separate, but not uploaded in the same document together. So the decision was not to move forward with updating that part of the verbiage. Then I think where we kind of left off was talking about the content of the error message. So we had looked up in the last meeting what occurs when this happens. Like if someone uploads a document and it's determined, okay, this potentially has a virus, we're not going to allow you to upload this. What happens? So current error message just reads, this file contains a virus. Doesn't have any additional guidance on what to do, on how to overcome that situation. Just saying, we're not letting you upload this file, essentially. So the proposed update to that would be, this file contains a virus. All documents being uploaded are subject to a virus scan. You could submit your documents by mail, fax, in person, or contact a community partner. So I think really, I think what we're mainly deciding on today, and let we can, the whole thing's open for discussion, but I think mainly what we're deciding on is if we feel comfortable with that updated error message language.
It's better than not telling them something, because that's the most frustrating thing when you're trying to send something in, especially something this crucial to your health. So just want to point that out. Giving them that explanation, at least they have something. Maybe they redo it.
Yeah, or I think the other goal here is if for some reason they can't get past this error, like they try to re-upload their document, still not working, we're giving them alternatives of how they can get that submitted.
Is there anybody that would like to ask Andrew questions on this and others before this?
I'm assuming this is a pretty rare occurrence. Or I don't know.
I think that, yeah, that's our understanding. I want to say Paul with the tech team last time spoke up saying that this is not something they regularly or if ever have received a call about to his knowledge. So not something we're seeing too often. I don't have exact numbers of how often this error occurs, but
I've never
rare.
had anybody reach out saying that they got that, honestly. And I haven't heard from the team whether they've experienced this or not. So
yeah,
I
and
think it's fairly rare.
I do think it would be fairly rare because as we mentioned kind of in the overview here, I think a lot of times it's somebody taking an image from their phone that they've just taken or other device, or they're just forwarding a document directly from their employer. And unless there's some issue with their device that they're using, their phone or their computer, then probably not going to be having too many files that contain errors.
Ingrid says she sees this often. Please upload something.
Please upload a valid file. Yeah, that is a slightly different error. That would have to do with probably the file type or the file size. I want to say if it's the file size, it should tell you. Again, I'd have to look up, but yeah, that's a slightly different error code than what we're talking about here.
Andrew, I like how you're going with this because it's not leaving people in the dark, or at least guessing.
Yeah, I agree. The current message doesn't give them much next steps to do.
So what does everybody think about this? Now would be the time to tell Andrew. Randy, Vanessa?
I like this newer version only because it also gives them like where they can submit their documents to, not just like, oh, this has a virus, but the fact that you can gives them the steps of what they can do to solve the issue.
Sydney, what do you think?
I also agree. I think it sounds great.
Gabriel?
Yeah, Gabrielle. Yes, I think it sounds good too.
Judith? Did we lose you? Okay, whatever.
Were you asking me or someone else? Because I know I just talked really low.
Yeah, I did.
It's Gabrielle. Yeah.
Okay.
I agreed with that. Sorry, I talked really low thinking that I was talking loud. It's just one of those days I might need more coffee.
And Judith, what do you think?
I agree with everyone else.
And April?
Yep, I put it in the chat. I agree.
So with the group, is this exactly what you want on what Andrew is doing. So everything's fine.
I think he's doing a great job. This is moving in the right direction.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Inja, what do you think?
Yes, and I actually brought the other one up because I see the please upload a valid file a lot more often than the contains virus ones. I was just wondering if that's going to have this option as well when we get the error message on top of this.
Okay. And Andrew, you can tell Veronica, thanks for the hard work she did.
Sure will.
I'm sort of curious, the error that Inja brings up, do we tell them then if it's too big or wrong type? Is that something we need to look at in the future? Or?
Yeah, that may be something good to add to our tracking sheet and for us to take a closer look at. Just we can look at all of the, take a deeper dive on all of the, well, I guess a good starting place would be all of the document upload errors. We could, certainly take a deeper dive at all of the potential errors you would receive in the online portal to make sure they all make sense. But that's probably a huge job. So maybe starting with the document upload ones would be a good place to start.
Just like Andrew mentioned earlier, when my clients send me a file, when they email me, like pay stub or something, most of the times I'm not actually able to upload those in a portal because it'll most likely give me this error message. So I often have to meet with them and scan them with our scanner to make sure that it can be uploaded.
Okay. Yeah, and I think it may be kind of a similar situation here, just to touch on that for a minute. I think we do more upfront, like on that document upload screen saying like, hey, it needs to be this file type, this size. Maybe we're not giving enough information in that actual error message. So again, could be a good use of our time to look closer at those in the future.
Andrew, I don't know if you guys are wanting to do it or if you guys have done it yet, but when I go to upload things on a website or whatever, I've came across to where it would tell me if I'm going to download something, it tells me how big of a file I'm allowed to.
Yeah, and so I think it does on our document. I'd have to pull it up to be sure, but I know I'm pretty sure 6 megabytes is our max file size, and so I think it has that on the screen where you're uploading a document. But it's, again, if someone's not having a chance to read that, or if they're missing that, because as we know, there's a lot of information on screen at once, easy to miss certain things. So I think maybe what we look at as we review some of these is, are we clearly telling them that on the screen? Are we also clearly telling them that if they do get this error, is there a better way that we can do that, or add anything that sort of helps while not discouraging folks to upload? So
Well, I hope this works with Windows 11.
it will.
Well, it sounds like we're set and have some ideas for the future. And that was a much shorter discussion than I had feared. This is sort of a first, it feels like. So since we're a little ahead of schedule, I'm thinking maybe we just coast on down to the next request.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, we will get 80 logged, and I think we'll make a note to look at the other error codes and document upload information in one of our upcoming meetings. So for request 81, this is a request to create a user-friendly password reset link that is sent in email, and to add password requirements to the password reset screen. So kind of an overview of what we currently have is when the user selects to reset their ONE Online account password, a password reset link is sent to the user's email address. Currently, it's just a link which you can click on, or it also gives instruction to copy and paste that into your browser. So the email link could be confusing, especially for those who may struggle with copying and pasting if the clickable link isn't working. The change would improve the experience by improving accessibility and efficiency. So if we, additionally, once the user clicks the link, they're navigated to a page that doesn't display any of the actual password requirements. It's kind of just like enter a password. If it's not right, we'll let you know through an error message, but it would just be more user-friendly if we upfront let folks know these are the requirements that your password needs to meet. So we would avoid this occurrence of failed attempts in trying to create an accurate password. And so we'll talk about doing that too. So I guess before we talk about the possible suggestions, if we scroll down, we can look at what it looks like now. So this bottom image here, the reset your password, it just sends this big block of text with a clickable link. Click on the link below or copy it into a browser to verify your email address. So I think the proposals here would be to, rather than this long string of text, we could ask to have that updated to a button, like click here to verify, something like that. I think we would probably still also include the text somewhere for copying and pasting into a browser. But I think that's up for discussion. I guess the proposal here is simplify the process by making it more user-friendly. Some alternatives to consider are a simple design with a clickable button or rewording the instructions for clarity.
So people on the committee, what's your thoughts on this? April, Vanessa, Brandy, Sydney?
I think adding a button is fine. Might make it a little easier for people to identify, and just keeping the link there. It's a pretty standard way to receive that information.
Yeah, and people have difficulty really putting information in. If we're really looking at low income community, a lot of times, and this is from a disabled person, you're going to overwhelm me by saying copy and paste this and put it in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people with disabilities are like, if they can click it, it makes it easier because they might not know how to spell, or they might struggle with going to another page, or they don't know how to copy and paste. And there's so many things that cause, and this is a big part of the services that are provided with this, is people with disabilities and lower incomes that might not have worked on a computer or couldn't afford to even learn to do stuff. And I think clicking is also a phone thing. It's easier to click on a phone instead of going into this tab and go into this tab and then like, it just causes just something that doesn't need to happen.
Okay, April, was you gonna say something? April?
No, I already spoke.
Oh, okay. So what do you think, Laura?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think I had voting or anything, but I think it sounds fine. Anything that can be an improvement would be great.
Okay, Judith, what do you think?
Well, I definitely agree that making it simpler is so much easier, because not all of us are whether we be disabled, elderly, or whatever. Not everyone has the wherewithal. Now, speaking for myself, with the cutting and pasting and all this kind of stuff. So I think the simpler we make it, the easier it's going to be on our people. And I would make that choice anytime.
Okay. Maria, what do you think?
It's so tiny and hard to see, but Andrew, I just want to make sure I understood correctly that we were that this is the updated message for resetting the password, and then I want to just kind of go back to that we're going to provide some update about what the password requirements are so that they know, so that kind of reduce the amount of need to reset. Is that correct? Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, so this is the existing, this isn't the updated proposal. This is the existing. I just put in chat kind of like, it's hard to visualize because we didn't bring any sort of mock-up, but rather than, cutting out some of the instructional text here and just having, like, you've requested to change your organ eligibility password, and then just have a button that says click here to verify. And rather than this link, which someone may or may not know to click, someone may struggle with copying and pasting it. It would just be very clear, like, here's a button, click this to verify your email address. And it would say that in text on the button, click here to verify your email address.
Okay.
So that's the
Sounds
thought with this piece of it. I think we would still include the text below about, if you haven't requested your password to be changed, please call and and then to the second part of your question with the password requirements, that would be, we haven't quite gotten there yet. That's on a separate screen. Once they click to verify this. So maybe before we go on to that, to confuse anyone, let's, if anyone has any other thoughts about the button, if we change any of the other text on this message that folks are receiving.
No, looks good. Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew, as far as the link, I would have to agree. Could it be made a little bit bigger? Because I got to thinking, if you guys are going to be putting this on the tablet and phones, the phones isn't all that big. It might be hard for someone to tap on the link on a small phone.
Yeah, so I think we're talking, get rid of at least the clickable link. If we think like, I guess one thing I need to understand better is if there's still value in keeping the link. Like, so let's say we're not going to allow the link to be clickable anymore. Instead of a clickable link, we'll have a big, nice button on the screen that's just like, click this button, essentially, to verify your email address. So it's big, easy to see, easy to understand without even having to read anything necessarily, that we want you to click this button to verify your email address. I think maybe I don't know if we still want to have that link if someone chooses to copy and paste it instead, or if we feel like that's still making it too confusing, we just want the button.
Well, I will have to agree with Gabriel. Yeah. It can be hard for people with a disability if you don't have that link. That's what I was.
I think James is trying to make us a button real quick.
I think the only time I would say not to do a button is because everyone has their computer set up different ways. If you're not allowed pop-ups, because that's happened to me where I'm like, it's not working. So I have to open up a separate window and then copy and paste because the buttons don't work due to whatever security settings you have on your laptop, tablet. If you're doing this on a work computer, the reason having access to a link would work.
Okay, so maybe we have the button first, like click this button to verify your email address. Then below that we have,
If you are
alternate.
not automatically routed, here's like the link. Yeah, because I know that that's usually what happens to me with some devices.
Okay. So add a button that makes easy to see, easy to click. Still include the link to copy and paste if someone's unable to access with that button.
Yeah, just in case of pop-up blocker or whatever. Because I know
Yeah.
sometimes I could care less with my security settings. Sometimes my husband like does all these extra security settings and I'm like, I can't access my stuff. And it's because he like does pop-up blockers or redirecting blockers or whatever.
Sounds good to me.
Brandy, do you want to say something?
Oh, everything I was going to say has already been said. I know that I've had issues previously with like different browsers and like security settings, like what Vanessa was saying, where I've had to actually copy and paste it. So I think it'd be beneficial to have that option for people to copy and paste, and then have the button for folks where that's going to be easier for them.
Great.
So here's a question. Andrew, if you're going to do this, and James, guys at this committee, what color would you suggest the button to be in? Because some people are colorblind. What would you suggest? What color?
Well, I suggest just keeping it to branding color. Like, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you guys have to follow branding.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just going to say. We have a style guide that we would follow with the color.
That's a great point. Sorry, sometimes that's why it takes me a little bit to respond, and you guys have to help me out because I'm always worried I'm going to overtalk people. But I think that my friend Ross Ryan, he's not with us anymore, but that would have been really important for him, is that he has sight issues, and to have that would be beneficial to him. And again, this is a community we work with this project and all this work and what we're trying to really fix. So I think that the click it thing, just to remind people, a lot of times cell phones have a way to they restructure emails and other things to be more, it like restructures the emails and alerts to look differently on a phone. So just want to remind people of that things change because it's just part of the software they have, but also having that like color identifier. It's if we have light blue, then it kind of molds into the background because of the logos, and it doesn't pop out at people, so they don't know. And I know, I'm sorry, Andrew, about this, but it's just kind of like the consistent colors, and just to make sure that we do something that pops out to community members so they can't say, I didn't see that, it's not there. And it's like, it actually is. It's very,
Totally.
very obvious.
So
So
yeah,
this is what you look for.
definitely. Yeah. So I think whatever we do, we want to make sure that it stands out as much as possible. I will go back to Vanessa was starting to touch on branding, and we do have a style guide for the online portal. So that determines colors, font, text, and all of that needs to be what they call WCAG, WCAG compliant, which has to do with accessibility and making it usable by as many people as possible. In addition to that, we do testing with screen readers and things for folks who use that technology and assistive technology like that. We do screen readers through desktop-based programs like I think JAWS is a really common one. We also do screen readers through mobile devices when we're testing things for mobile devices. So we'll make sure to request that all of this is in line with that, though that's already kind of a standard that's been set for the online portal.
Maria, you said something kept coming in and out. What do you mean?
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna just go out and come back just in case.
Oh, okay. James, did you say something about a guide?
Oh, I was just, when it comes to, being consistent, but still having a button stand out, it'd be nice to compare it to the old iconography guide. You can see some of the other buttons that are in the platform there.
Okay.
But very small point, just saying too that we got to update the logo on this thing too.
Yeah, and we can make that request as part of it to update all of the branding to the current DHS and OHA branding. And
Okay. Now going back up before this. So what does everybody think about this verify thing? Do you want this to be on the website and stuff, or?
Well, we're just doing the email right now. I think there is a little more to this one.
Okay.
yeah, I think the top image was meant to show where someone is asking to reset their password. I want to say maybe that orange circle was supposed to be there. Yeah, I think we were trying to just indicate how someone would get to receiving this email.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah, this is only one part of this request, what we've talked about so far. So if everyone kind of feels good with what we've talked about so far, we can move on to the next point. But if I don't want to cut the conversation short, if anyone had any other thoughts about a button or a link or styling, anything like that.
Well, I think everybody agrees with this.
Seems like it from what I've heard. We want to do the button, keep the copy and paste link. We'll come up with some wording of, it will require rewording that screen a little bit. But I think we've gotten some good input on, why we would want to include the link as well. It would be something along the lines of, if you're not being redirected by this button, copy and paste this link into your browser.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now we can go on to the reset.
Okay. Yeah. And so then the second part of this is once you click that link, your email is considered verified. We bring you back here to this screen where we display your username, your first and last name, and we ask you to set a new password. So what the issue is here on this screen is we're not telling anybody what we're asking for in terms of the password. None of the requirements are here on the screen. So it requires you to get lucky and enter a password that meets our requirements, or for you to, get the error code that then would notify you of that. So we're asking to put these, I'll put them in the chat, requirements on the screen here in some way. Password must be between 12 and 24 characters long, contain one uppercase, one lowercase, one number, and one special character from the following list.
Andrew, most of the time that I come across is asking for 6 to 18 instead of 24. If you try to make it too long, it's going to bore somebody.
These are the requirements that our security team has approved as of right now. So what's a little out of scope for this conversation is any changes to these requirements. This is, we have to stick with this because this is what our security team has determined it meets our security requirements.
Okay.
But what is in scope for this conversation is do we want to include these on the screen? I'm assuming most people will agree with that, but I want any discussion to be had about that as well.
Andrew, where would this text go, do you think? Or if anyone else has comments?
Well, me personally, I would just put it over in the blank where there's white on the side of it.
You mean on the left here?
Yeah. If you put it on anywhere else, they won't have room for it.
Yeah, I think this may be just a snapshot of part of the screen. I think it's like a full page, and this is more appearing in like the middle of the screen. So I think there's white space on either side.
Well, you gotta consider the phones too. They're only a certain size.
Yep. So I guess what would make the most sense to me, or my suggestion would be, after this first sentence, your password has expired, please create a new password. Stick the requirements in there.
Well, what I'm also going to suggest is some of the stuff like that on some screens will have timers on them. They only allow you so much time to reset your password.
Yeah, our online portal has a 15-minute timeout. If there's no no activity after 15 minutes, you'll get booted out of the system or asked to refresh your page. And that would be the same here.
Okay, I'd like to suggest putting something and letting people know that it's going to take 15 minutes to do the password, because you don't want to end up having the people be frustrated when they're putting something in and they get booted off of a
Yeah,
web.
so what if if that's something everyone wants to do, we can add like a little warning message about 15 minutes. But the way it's currently designed, when you're about to reach that 14 or 15 minutes, it gives you a pop-up saying like, hey, your session is about to expire. Click here to continue, which will reset that 15-minute timer. Or there's also a logout option. So there is already, it's not like on screen saying like, hey, just so you know, you only have 15 minutes to do this. But when you're reaching that time, we give a notification.
Okay. I was just trying to keep from people being so frustrated and you guys getting these calls. Because they
Yeah,
can't.
I guess, yeah, if you feel like if you don't think that's enough, where we have a pop-up saying like, hey, your time is about to expire unless you click continue. I'm not trying to shut it down. I was more just trying to say what the current environment is like and what the system does to notify a user of their time limit.
Gabriel? Where'd you go?
Gabrielle, you mean?
Gabrielle.
Yeah. Where'd she go? Oh, anyway. Yeah, it's just a thought, because the more that this department, the less frustration there is on the consumer side of things. And people filling these out. I was just trying to find a way.
Yeah, so I think in adding I think giving that, for one thing, it's going to definitely speed this process up, is putting the requirements on screen, saying like, this is what the password needs to be. And, hopefully that will allow people to know where to start from, to get a password in there on the first try that works for them, to not be continually getting an error code or having to retry. So that should hopefully be less than 15 minutes. And then if it is 15 minutes, we'll be giving them a warning about that as they start to reach that time limit.
Okay. Is this where you guys want us on here like this? Now is this time to speak. India, Brandy, Judith, Maria.
And I'm just curious. So if someone just not able to, not able to change the password successfully, would they just call the customer service line and they were able to help, or is there a different line they have to call?
I think they would call the tech team. I would need to look at the exact language of the error that they're getting to give you a definite answer on that, which I can do. I think we're due for a break. So maybe we take a break, we think about what we talked about, and I will look up what type of error message they would get here, and we can come back to that on the other side of the break.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. So let's since we're pretty late, let's plan on coming back at 12:14.
Okay. See y'all back at 12:14. Is the recording on, James? Record. Hi, everybody. We're back to this now.
Okay, so where we left off was there's a question about what does someone do if they have an issue creating this? Who would they contact? My answer was the tech team. That's still my answer, but I did look up the error code. The error code is essentially the requirements here. It says the exact same thing. So password must match the following, or password must be between 12 and 24 characters long, contain one uppercase, one lowercase, one number, and one special character from the list. There isn't any additional instruction to contact anyone. I think we are at that point assuming that that instruction is going to be enough for someone to figure that out. So I don't know if we, one other option here is we could request adding the tech team contact information to that error code.
Yeah, why not? Maria says it's a good idea. Vanessa, do you think it's a good idea? Hi, Samantha.
Hey, surprise, I snuck in.
Yeah, we were just going over this. Anja, what do you think, Maria? April?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious if we couldn't figure it out, what happens. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's just too much or what, but maybe it's a good idea to maybe you could have a trouble, call this number.
Okay, Vanessa, what do you think?
Agreed. Sorry, I'm fighting with my mute button. Having a contact number would be awesome.
Okay. Samantha likes Anja's suggestion. Sydney, what about you?
I would agree. I like the message. Doesn't hurt to add the contact. I have nothing else to add.
Okay, and I said April, right?
It looks good. I mean, I think it'll be more comfortable to use.
Okay, Samantha says be careful about using. Huh? That was too fast.
Oh, I was just saying, I like NJ's recommendation. We just need to be careful on the wording because we don't want it to seem like, here's the requirements and you can call us, because calling us ultimately isn't going to change anything unless what they're experiencing is they are meeting the requirements and the password is still getting this error message. So it's just being careful around the language we provide. but I think the way MJ phrased it will work really well. It's short, sweet, to the point.
Now, will this telephone number go to Paul's department?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we're all good with this, so we can move on?
I think the only thing that we didn't settle on, and I don't want to hold up the conversation too much more, was the placement of it. George had suggested to the left of it in the blank space on the page. I had suggested after the first line there, your password has expired. Please create a new password. And there we would say the requirements after please create a new password.
I think keeping it stacked would work better only because also I'm on my cell phone a lot, and sometimes some websites, when things are spaced out and you have to move left and right, sometimes you miss messages on the side if it's not all stacked on top, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't read outside the actual data, so yeah.
Okay. And there's your answer, Andrew.
Okay. So yeah, sounds like we're all in agreement. So quick summary here of this whole request we're going to do. We're going to add a button to the email. We're going to leave the link there with some explanatory text where if the button is not redirecting you, you will copy and paste this link to reach the page. Then once they reach the page, they will see on-screen instructions of the password requirements. And in addition to that, we'll be adding the tech team number to the potential error code they receive if their password does not meet the requirements.
Andrew, Maria came up with an idea. Did you see it?
If you're having issues resetting the password, please contact tech support.
It's not that they're having an issue connecting, right? They're just having an issue resetting the password. Is that?
I like your text better than mine.
Sorry, James.
No, I appreciate the help. I was sort of floundering here. But what do other people think?
I'll go with it.
Yes.
April said, yeah. She likes Maria's idea. Okay, and Gabriel did too. Brandy does too. And pretty much it looks like it's in stone now. So there you go, Andrew.
Great. So we will get request 81 logged as well. So very productive so far. 80 and 81 will both be logged. Where are we at with the agenda? Do we have time to go to 82? Are we going to
That's
change
what I was
gears?
wondering. And
We still got enough time. It's 12:18.
oh, I have 12:22. But so in theory, we only have a few minutes before moving on. I'm just wondering, maybe we just introduce this one and save it for later.
Sure. Might as well.
Andrew, is this one yours or?
Yeah, so sorry. My child ran in to tell me something. So I got distracted for a second. Yes, we will. Let me give an overview of this one. So clarifying the links on the Let's Get Started page that describe programs. So how the change improves the user experience. So on the Let's Get Started page, when we're starting new applications, the first screen after starting a new application that has information about what the process is going to be like. And page also has links directly to information about each program. And we've had reports that customers get confused with those links, thinking that this link about the SNAP program is where they click to apply for SNAP, or this link about the cash TANF program is where they click to get cash assistance. But what they really need to do is scroll down to the bottom of the screen. Yeah, here's the screenshot here. So we've heard that folks are inadvertently clicking those, thinking that that's what they need to do to get each of those different programs. But really what they need to do is continue down to the bottom of the page and click accept to begin their application process. So the possible suggestion we have is this highlighted text here. You can find out more about these programs by clicking the links. Reword that in a way that, while also letting folks know that there's good information here about these programs, that what we really need to do is scroll down to the bottom of the page to click accept to continue the application process. And then another note here is that additionally ensure that the application, if the application is accessed in Spanish language, the links direct to the appropriate Spanish language pages. I do want to say we had a defect logged in our system recently where one of our UAT testers went through all of the links in our app to make sure that they are directing appropriately. And I want to see these recovered as well. So that may be something that's already been addressed, but we could definitely take a closer look at that as well as part of this.
So maybe something for next time.
Yeah, we can put it in next month's meeting.
Yeah. So, but some way to clarify that this is just information. You need to go elsewhere to sign up.
To
Cool.
me, the confusion part is actually sentence before the yellow highlighted part that you can apply for through the website. And that sounds like you can click these links and apply for the program.
Yeah, good point, NJ. I think I see the issue there too.
You too, I hope you work for me again. You too. Andrew, James, Samantha, yeah, you can keep it online. What I've noticed is, because of this thing on application deal, I've noticed that we may have to go over the paper copy also, because a paper copy was sent to me when I had gone in it to reapply. It also felt to me that it was also confusing. So I'm wondering, once we're done with the digital type here, we may have to go over the paper type also.
Won't that just automatically change?
No, it's just because see, my time is replaying and I got to looking at it, and I may not be the only one that feels this way, but it seemed like it was confusion on the paper type.
Yeah, so to kind of answer Julie's question, it does, changes we make here aren't automatically updated in a paper copy of the application. That's a separate process. And it's, I guess I don't have a good answer if that's something that we have the time or ability to work on.
I might be able to save you a little bit on this, Andrew. The paper applications are owned by the programs. So OHA owns the paper application for medical, and Self-Sufficiency owns the paper application for SNAP Cash and ERDC. We can work with them, but it's not something necessarily that Andrew and I can drive. But we can also, I mean, that's not to say we can't work with those groups and ask them to come join us and fold us into their process of updating. Because I agree with you, the paper applications are often very, very behind. It's a big process to get them changed. And I think getting community feedback to that process would be really welcomed. So we can definitely see if that's something that those groups would want to collaborate here, or if there's another forum where we could have OOIC join as a voice and a contingent to give feedback on those processes. So we'll have some conversations about it. But yeah, Andrew's absolutely right. Unfortunately, updating the portal doesn't automatically update the paper application. That would be too smart and too easy for government. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay.
All right. Well, let's so we have so much more fun work items to talk about, so we have to save some of them for future meetings. And in fact, if you look in the briefing sheet, yeah, we have several more after this. I think the next one is sort of a doozy too, but like I said, we can save them until next time. So in the email that went out to you all Thursday, yet another small update in the flyer that we've been working on the last few months. I can find the right place to share the screen. There we go. And just, you know, hopefully you have a chance to look at it. I think there was some verbs not agreeing and stuff such like that. I was looking at it with more critical eye because our comms department was like, oh, why don't we just, and they created some totally different flyer, and I was just like, we've been working on this. So so it did allow me to take a look at this with sort of an external viewpoint. So we don't have to do it here, but I would just encourage you to just give it a read through and send in questions, comments. One thing I can note is we've updated the email. So instead of just going to me and what if I'm out for a week or whatever, and so no one's going to get a response. This way, lucky people like Asusena and Dion will also get this email then. So they could respond if I was out for whatever reason. But so that's any quick comments right now?
I'm still in the process of reading mine.
I'm looking at the paragraph that's this paragraph after importance. Yes.
Oh.
I don't know. It just seems an odd sentence. Making one as accessible as possible. Is there something? I don't know. It's just odd.
It does feel like it could be worded better.
It's just, yeah.
But if we really get to think about it, one means one person instead of meaning.
Well, and I've when I am just writing a regular email, when I want to type out the word like the number one, I have to inevitably retype it because I'm so used to capitalizing it now. So hopefully it's clear that this is the system, but maybe you need to use the longer form that we generally use. Although it's done in a couple places here. I know we have a little bit of a fight. It's like, is it one eligibility system or is it just one system? I think I'm starting a style guide for that. Okay, so see, something,
I-
something to read on
I-
your next plane flight. Oh, yeah, Vanessa?
I was gonna say it's just looking at it, it's super wordy.
Yeah.
And like you make the comment of eligibility system more accessible, you make that comment twice. So maybe making it easier to access, like I get, but it's also just super repetitive in that point. And again, like we just keep it short and sweet because we all have
Yeah.
attention spans now.
Yeah, and that first sentence where what we do, committee members make the one eligibility system. I would change that sentence. It's we make it easier to understand. We don't make it more accessible.
Okay.
Or user friendly. Depending what our group thinks, because I seldom think in a college level.
Oh, there's some aspects of this sentence to keep around, feels like, but this first part, probably not.
It could be easier to navigate.
Right.
Maria, could you state what you meant?
Oh, I was just saying I feel really proud to be part of this group
Hey.
and thankful. And
Okay,
I'm
I'm
looking
still
forward
gonna
to sharing
be
this.
in a meeting for a minute. So
Yes, I'm looking forward to sharing this flyer. Thank you, George.
Okay.
In April, your suggestion, is that in the first part or? Oh yeah, it's the second part. Sorry, I'm finally read through the whole thing.
I didn't understand what Vanessa was saying.
I think she didn't realize she was not on mute.
sorry, it's getting back to first week of school, just like Andrew. Kids are calling, trying to find a way home, and I can't close my locker. And what do I do? So sorry.
Vanessa, you need to go close their locker for them, obviously.
Well, first of all, he couldn't get it open,
Of
but
course
now
not.
the lock is jamming, so he doesn't want to leave his stuff in there with the knot. And I'm like, so I'm texting him and I'm like, oh my God, just spin the thing, it'll lock, you'll be fine. And who cares if your lunch pail is missing? Like, it's just middle school antics.
Yeah, the lockers. I always remember that. That was the first scary thing about middle school.
Okay, well, thank you so much for taking a look at this. I'll yeah, we'll have a cleaned up version for next time, or maybe sooner, who knows? Put it out with the notes, actually.
April wanted to say something.
Oh,
Nope, I didn't want to say anything.
Oh. Matthew, what was it?
Samantha's kid is in a weight training program, apparently.
So how far down on the agenda are we?
We are now at the feedback sheet, and there's something I should have included in all those files notes, but let me just show you what come up with. It may be too small to see very well, but with Andrew and Brandy's help, got some data points to include. These are the different builds, and instead of spelling everything out, if it doesn't have an R number, which is a request, our request numbers, then that means that's a larger change request that went through. And I don't know how much it helps. This graph is so messy already. And there's really, I can safely say there's not really any correlation with, I mean, to me, apparently, of these builds and any approval amount. There's so many other factors that go in when people ask, when people answer these questions, that it's difficult to say. But I don't know. They look, it has a little bit of a better look to it. But I'm curious anyone's observations or thoughts, because I'm just one person.
Okay, anybody? Sydney, April, Judith, Inja, Maria?
I'm kind of lost.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. And that is a good comment here. And it's probably too small to read, unfortunately.
Well, I can read it.
Yeah.
I'm squinting, but I can read it.
And I'm putting the actual questions in the survey of the chat here.
But the shadow graph that's behind the color graph.
Oh, those thin little lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are those?
That's the raw data. You can see how it jumps up and down a lot. So the solid lines, I created a rolling average. So it sort of smooths it out a little bit. The black line down here is just the count on the right axis, is the number of surveys that were submitted on the given day. And then our three blue, orange, and green lines are the three questions that I just put into the chat.
Well, the green ones look like they're really close together.
Yeah, it almost makes me wonder if we shouldn't just pick one of the questions that's representative, because they're so strongly correlated.
Hey, Samantha, can you help James with this? Andrew?
Maybe the black line
Yeah,
and the colored lines need to be on two different pages.
that could be. We could do that.
So you're not constantly getting confused between the two. You concentrate on one, and then we can concentrate on the colored,
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I made sure I changed the axis over here for the black line just to get the black line away from the other two, but it still creates a very messy graph. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, there's always, you get data like this, just always hoping that there's going to be some cool correlation. And it's like, no, it's just a mess.
So what's the numbers on the left and the numbers on the right?
So the numbers on the left, just it goes from 3.5 all the way down to 0. These are the responses to those questions. What services, or oops, that's not even the right question. Sorry. How useful was your one online account in completing? And so they ask people to rate from 1 to 4, not useful, somewhat useful, trying to rate, let's bring it up actually. I didn't even post the right.
Yeah, because I'm confused. Like, which services did you need? Like, how would we know which they requested? So is it a different
that I'm sorry, that's not the question that's graphed. The question 1 is really, how useful was your one online account in completing the actions you needed? So that's a different data point, sorry. And so it's 1 is poor, 2 is fair, 3 is good, and 4 is excellent. And so when you're looking at this blue line, then the average was around, has been around 2.5. So some people may have answered with an excellent, and some people may have answered with a poor, but the average has really been between fair and good. And I feel like I'm just interrupting a robust conversation about backpacks in schools, but
No, I feel like I'm trying to read this, but I would probably want to look at this in another direct. I don't know. This is,
yeah, I think it's a good idea to take the black line out, and
yeah.
that gives us a little more focus on the 3 actual questions. And
I mean,
how
about putting a pie section?
well, the only thing with the pie chart is you don't get the time line.
Okay.
Yeah. But
James, real quick.
yeah,
Like,
please.
If we maybe could focus on the highest, like the higher points and then the lower points, so then we can kind of see, when they, oh gosh, when it scored a little higher or when it scored a little lower during the year, I guess.
Yeah,
That'll help too to kind of see.
I think, when you look at the number of applications or number of surveys submitted, it definitely follows a monthly pattern. There's always a peak at the beginning of each month. Although I guess that wasn't true in July, so much for always. But these other ones, they definitely have peaks right at the beginning of the month. And something happened in May where we got a drop in our responses. And I'm not sure what that would be interesting to figure out. But yeah, I don't know. It's all pretty small. Even this drop is the biggest one of the entire thing. It's not that big. It's 2.6 to 2.3.5.
Do we have any data that shows since the builds come like a fewer? So you said these are submissions or submissions for support tickets? Because I would want to know like if there's fewer support tickets or questions asked on this page or that page, we're reducing the amount of stopping an application or hey, I'm lost type of thing. And then Andrew, do you still have the throwing stars?
No, they were confiscated.
That is a very good question, and I have to, maybe Andrew or Samantha knows who I can even ask to see if that data exists in a readily accessible way.
Wait, what was the question again?
Have we seen a reduction in like support calls? Like we made changes to text on like, hey, submit this document here. Like, are we seeing a reduction in calls about, hey, I needed to support this document or stop points? Like if we're not seeing changes in satisfaction, whether we're seeing reduction in like applications abandoned or questions about this focus that we knew was a common question that we would receive or call.
We will get some of this data out of the reporting from pay stub automation and when Equifax comes through in 2 days, the Equifax CR. But it's a little bit hit and miss, Vanessa, because we don't have that deep of a level of tagging on like the topic of the call.
Mm.
So we can get some high level stuff, and James, we might be able to get that from Mandy and Lori with AP Tech team, because I know they have some of those numbers, but I don't know if it will get as deep as you're thinking.
Well, because like for
Vanessa.
instance, I know we updated something where now when they submit documents, it shows what the document is for, like whether it's SNAP, ERDC. That was a change that was done, and it has been amazing on our end, at least with like, because sometimes we would get the generic, well, you didn't turn this in, and they could see, nope, I turned it in, it was for this case, and it will show what the document that was submitted. And we've seen, because before it was always, hey, we're having an issue, and they're like, oh, the client didn't do this, oh, the client didn't do that, oh, and the client can now go like, actually submit it on this date, here what it is, and sometimes it's another issue. That's usually the, did you restart your computer response we normally get.
Turn it off and turn it on again. I think we would have to do some like specific reporting requests for that, but that would be really interesting, Vanessa. I think we could probably pull together some reporting on that. As far as like getting into post to those changes, how many people we're seeing still closed for certain specific closure reasons or whatever. Yeah, we could look into that.
Or calls, 'cause I feel like that's the other thing too, is have we seen
Yeah.
a reduction in like wait times, call times?
No, I won't say that, but we've also been kind of struggling with our phone stability recently. So that's a little bit of a challenging metric to get right now, I fear.
We can get it, but it's there's so
Yeah,
many other factors that are causing grief.
And the accuracy is a little bit suspect right now, unfortunately. While we look into transitioning our call center software to a better solution.
This is the point where I check myself because this is being recorded. So yeah. Well, okay, this is helpful. We'll come back with a rework of this, a little less cluttered, and we can look into some of these other data points. Oh.
Okay, what else is on the agenda?
Well, and one more bit of fun here. That is one of the other items that I sent out with this agenda is our charter, which we did some time ago, more than 2 years ago. And so you have a copy of it. Now, since that got sent out, I started looking through it, and it's like, yeah, we got to get rid of the logo, update the logo. We actually slyly changed the name of this group a few months in from Oregon One Online Improvement Committee to just One Online Improvement Committee. So sort of clean that up. And so I mean, I can send this version I had written with some of the notes, but for instance, we talk about prioritizing suggestions in the charter. We don't really do that. We haven't, we're sort of taking them as they come. I mean, we could work on that.
I mean, we used to, but I feel like we're at a good equilibrium now where we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the wording needs to be updated about how we get ideas, because we now, since this was written, we've created an external form for people to submit ideas. Our vision statement, but I'm just going to keep going. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm scrolling through a lot here. The other responsibilities of George and Maria as our co-chairs. And I don't know, I guess some sort of just copy editing. It's like, record keeping, how is this different than notes and archives? Things like that. So the purpose of today's meeting really is simply to put it on your radar. We may have to devote more time to this in a future meeting, but I just, how you get it as a document. If you're like me, chances are you'll glance at it like, oh, I'll look at that some other point, and then you don't get to it. So I just want to talk about it a bit, put it in your mind so you can think about it a little bit. And, because this document definitely needs updating, and it's one of the few things about this group that is publicly available besides these videos. So it would be good to have it, have our work represented well here as also. So again, another little intro. We didn't have elections this past July, but for co-chairs. And since I can be a little Robert's Rules nerd sometimes, sometimes we're taking a vote of everyone present, and sometimes we're taking a vote from membership. It's like, well, we should probably make up our mind which one we want to use in general.
Now, when you're saying that, what are you actually saying?
So, for instance, it's like here it says a majority vote of the general membership. And then here is also 2/3 the vote of the membership. And then I don't know if I marked it. There was another one that a little later. Well, here it's a simple vote of general membership. Okay, well, I could have. I'm pretty sure somewhere in here we say a majority vote of those present. So I just didn't mark it, but here we're in the last couple minutes of our meeting too. So I hope you can take a few moments to take a look at this one as well. Sorry, we're just dumping a whole bunch of stuff on you all, but any other thoughts?
I would just, that required activities each month the committee will submit. It seems like we're the ones putting it. I think we're reviewing submissions received, because this strictly sounds like we are responsible for submitting
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. This is not something that we're really doing. So yeah, so this is something to take a look at. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you all. I think as a recap, Andrew, it sounds like we're going to log 80 and 81.
Yep.
And maybe we'll have a mock-up for those, just so everyone can have a nice picture of what we're seeing. And we'll come back to request 82 next month.
Okay, and James, I want to talk to you offline after the meeting.
Sure.
Or when we're on video, when everybody else is gone.
Okay. Any other closing comments? thank you for another productive meeting. And we'll see you next month, if not sooner.
Thanks,
And-
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.